Very good evening to all members gathered here. It gives me a great pleasure to welcome you to this workshop on risk management in logistics and the role of independent directors in corporate governance. Today, we will explore how effective governance, structured risk assessment, and strategic oversight can transform logistics operation into resilient and sustainable systems. Let us begin this insightful journey. So this is our well-structured agenda for today's program. Let me briefly walk you through today's agenda. We will start by understanding the basics of modern logistics landscape, followed by identifying key risk categories. Then we will examine the regulatory framework governing logistics risk. The major focus will be on the role of independent directors in ensuring effective governance. We will also discuss risk governance framework by analyzing the real world case studies and conclude with the best practice and recommended actions. So, this is our overview of today's workshop. So, this workshop is specially designed to highlight how independent directors can actively contribute to identifying, assessing, and mitigating risk across the logistics value chain. Starting from procurement and warehousing to transportation and last mile delivery, in each and every stage involves certain risks and uncertainties. Effective governance ensures these risks are not just managed but anticipated and minimized. Here are some of the key statistics that has been presented here. Let us look, let us take a look at some powerful statistics that underline the importance of this topic. Nearly 68% of the supply chain disruptions are linked to poor risk governance. Globally, logistics risk exposure is estimated around $184 billion annually. Even more concerning is that 3 out of 5 boards lack logistics specific risk expertise. These numbers clearly show that risk management in logistics is not potential, it is very critical every now and then. Next, we will move on to the modern logistics landscape. The logistics environment today is more complex than ever before. We are dealing with global supply chain spanning multiple countries, each with its own risk and regulations. Technology is transforming logistics through AI, IoT, and automation, but also introducing some cyber risk. At the same time, regulatory requirements and ESG expectations, environmental sustainability goals, expectations are increasing day by day. All these factors demand a structured and forward looking risk management approach. Here are some of the key risk categories as listed out here. Logistics risk can be broadly categorized into 6 major areas. Operational risk include fleet failures, accidents, and inventory issues. Financial risk arise from fuel price volatility and currency fluctuations. Compliance risk relate to laws and regulations. Strategic risk involve poor decisions in market entry or partnerships. Cyber risk include data breaches and system failures, and finally, geopolitical risk arise from trade disruptions and global conflict. Each category requires a dedicated attention and strong focus to assess the mitigation strategies involved in it. Here are some of the regulatory framework for assessing the risk in logistics system. Risk management in logistics is governed by several independent regulations. The Companies Act 2013 outlines the board responsibilities and governance requirement, followed by the listing obligations and disclosure requirement, which was mandated by Security Exchange and the Board for India. They form risk management committees for listed companies. As per National Logistics Policy, they provide strategic direction for India's logistics sector. Additionally, GST, FMEA, and customs law regulate financial crises and cross-border transactions. Independent directors must ensure that organizations remain compliant with all of this framework. Now let us focus on most important thing, the common duties of independent directors. Independent directors play a crucial role in ensuring effective governance. They are responsible for reviewing risk management systems, ensuring internal controls, and challenging management decisions whenever necessary. They must also monitor the regulatory compliance as framed by the company management, evaluating the risk exposure, and ensure transparency in reporting. Their role is not passive in nature, it is proactive and strategic. These are some of the common role of independent director. Let us now look deeper into their role. They provide oversight by questioning assumptions and validating the decisions. They help to define risk appetite, how much risk the organization is willing to take. They regularly monitor the performance through key indicators. They ensure stakeholders' confidence and step in during crisis. In essence, they act as guardians of governance and risk discipline. So here are some risk governance framework as given here. The strong governance framework follows the three lines of defense model. The first line is operations, those who manage the risk daily. Second line is risk and compliance team who monitor and guide. The third one includes independent directors who provide oversight and assurance. This layered approach ensures accountability and control at every level. And here is the risk cycle as defined by the corporate governance framework. Risk management is said to be a continuous process. It begins with identifying the risk, followed by assessing their impact. Then comes mitigation, developing strategies to reduce the risk. After that, risk must be continuously monitored and reported to the board member. This cycle ensures proactive and dynamic risk management. So this is all about the risk governance framework followed by the board risk oversight cycle. Now we shall discuss some real-time case studies. The first one describes about the Suez Canal blockage. The Suez Canal blockage is a classical example of operational and geopolitical failure, a single incident that disrupted a global trade worth of nearly $10 billion per day. The key lesson is the importance of contingency planning. Board must ensure alternate routing strategies and contractual safeguards are in place. Next one is Indian logistics. In India, the logistics company faced major challenges after implementing the GST. So the following are the issues: compliance issues and data breaches highlighted the gaps in governance. The lesson here is clear organization must invest in compliance system and cybersecurity framework. The third example was Amazon India. This case highlights the risk in last mile delivery and labor management issues related to gig workers and vendor dependency attracted regulatory attention. Board must evaluate such risk more carefully and ensure ethical and sustainable practices. Here come some of the common best practices to be followed by every industry. To manage the risk more effectively, organizations should adapt some best practices. These include forming dedicated risk committees, conducting regular assessment, and setting clear key performance indicators. Stress testing and certification standards also help to improve resilience. And here are some of the common risk tools and modern framework. The various tools can support the risk management. Risk heat maps tries to help to visualize the impact and likelihood of the problem. FMEA identifies the potential failures. Scenario planning prepares the organization for disruptions. Additionally, ESG scorecards, environmental sustainability goal scorecards, and AI tools provide advanced insight for decision making. So these are some of the future recommendations for independent director. For independent director, here are some key recommendations that are essential. Develop logistics knowledge, demand structured reporting, and promote a risk-aware culture. Engage external experts and integrate ESG considerations into decision making. Most importantly, focus on building resilience into the system. And here is a famous quote, as I always emphasize, good governance starts with asking the right question. So, this mindset is essential for effective leadership and risk management. So, here are some of the key takeaways from today's workshop. To summarize, logistics risk is a board level responsibility. Independent directors must actively engage in risk governance. Strong framework, compliance, and continuous monitoring are essential thing. And finally, risk management should be proactive, not reactive. Before I close the today's session, I would like to summarize the overall input about today's workshop. So initially, we begin with the program agenda, followed by the overview of the workshop topic. Then we have given some statistical figures about the importance of logistics global supply chain. Then we discussed about modern logistics landscape, followed by the different types of risk categories, some of the common regulatory framework, followed by that duties and responsibilities of independent director, then a common risk governance framework. Then we discuss some few real life examples, case studies. With all above information, I thank all the members for your time and participation in today's workshop. I hope this session has provided you valuable insights into logistics, risk management, and corporate governance. Let us take these learnings forward and apply them effectively in our professional roles. Thank you once again. We will meet in the next upcoming lecture series. Thank you all.